feel coming off the field Saturday night?
Oh, it's pretty electric. That was. I mean, this place is already special, and just there was a different energy there. I mean, with the 94 squad, I mean, the students were awesome. Looking back at the film, there's times where their offensive line, they were totally discombobulated. You can see. So I truly believe that just the atmosphere, the crowd had a huge effect on those guys.
How much does your defense have effect on them being discombobulated?
I mean, you'd like to say that, but I mean, the one thing that you saw out there was the guys the whole week. I think the guys just did a great job of embracing the process, right? They came out on Tuesday and put in some new stuff, and it was a physical day, but we were working some coverage stuff, and it didn't look pretty. And then Wednesday came around, and they got a little bit better. And then Thursday came around, they got a lot better. Then Friday came around with the walkthroughs, and they got really, really good. And then Saturday morning walkthroughs, and they were just locked in. And it was a total team deal. You know what I mean? Like, it was the front, the back end, the linebackers. I mean, just everybody on the same page. Everybody was just geeked up. It was just great to be a part of.
On Saturday night, Dylan said he believes this team's the best defense in the country. What do you make of that?
Well, I mean, it's Tuesday, so right now we're the worst defense in the country, right? And so, like this, it's just, again, it comes back to you can't preach the process on one day and then do something different. It's Tuesday, and it is a physical day, and we got an opponent coming in here who rushes for 250 plus yards a game and got some great backs. So, all that stuff will go for naught if you don't prepare the right way and just again approach it as you got a team coming in here who will beat you if you don't handle business. So it's just Tuesday.
Hey, with Makai out for the first half, most likely, how do you manage that linebacker position this week? It's a game like this, we're going to have a lot of physical run.
Yeah, competition. I mean, Coach said it. The first thing that Coach said was the special teams has to improve, and that if you look at the guys on special teams, that's defense. A lot of that, I mean, 2/3 of those guys are defenders. So that bugs the hell out of me. You know what I mean? That's happened. So the competition for everything is really the focus this week. Everybody executing. I mean, you had starters out there on that are defensive starters out there not executing the way they could. You know what I mean? So again, it's just going back to what can get us beat, making sure that we fix those problems, not ignore them, and then go out there and just be part of what today is. Tuesday, physical day, install, make sure we know how to act, make sure our attitude is right, make sure we know how to tackle, make sure we're lining up things, communicating the right way, and then go from there. But Coach said he wants the open competition, and we'll see what happens at the end of the week.
Is it easier to get your guys to commit to that process in the wake of looking at an exciting matchup, or is it easier in a game like this where trying to stay focused on respecting the opponent and maybe coming off of all that hype?
That's it starts at the top, and Coach laid out the message, and he laid out the plan for the week, and then it's on us as coordinators and assistant coaches to again make sure that the process starts up. It's Tuesday, and we highlighted you and I. I mean, they will rush for 200 yards if you let them. You know what I mean? So respect the hell out of the running backs. They might be the best running backs that we've seen to date. You know what I mean? So there's no play around. There's no anything. It's like we got to handle what we got to handle. Got to make sure it's our jobs to make sure that the guys again know what to do, know how to do it, and then put them in the positions right now, and then watch the practice tape, see schematically what we want to do and what we don't want to do, and then just again fix it. We'll have meetings, and then wake up, and it's Wednesday, and go from there.
To follow up on the Makai question, is that it's still under appeal, and is there a teachable moment to be taken from that?
That I don't know. And the coach said too, it's a fine line, right? You want them to play, and you got them so charged up, and believe me, those guys, I mean, we got to a point where it's like you had to tone them down because they wanted it bad, and so you're always trying to do the teach tapes and show them. That one was like he's sliding at the last second, and it wasn't like a head down, like what I mean, like so it was kind of one of those things like, hey, let's see what they say, take it. Let's learn from it. Blah blah, and move on. So.
How much better of a four-man pass rushing team are you this year compared to last year? And I guess what kind of work went into that in the offseason to make that improvement?
Yeah, you know what? I get this question about Coach Rule and, just learning from him. And the plan he had right after the season, it showed up on last Saturday. And what I mean by that is he said, one of the things we want to work on is being able to rush with four. One of the first things when we got back in the offseason, hey, let's figure out how we can better be rushing with four guys, And so the whole focus in the spring, rushing four. OTAs, rushing four, pass rush, individuals, things like that. Putting the right guys in at the right times and all that stuff. Fall camp, same deal. You just show that's a master class on planning, on foresight from a coach who has been there, done that, and has a bigger view than the assistants and the coordinators. He saw this last year, and that's just a great. That's just a great plan. A year later, so the guys did a nice job last Saturday, but let's not disrespect the game and come in here and make sure that we're ready to go this week.
Yeah, there's some obvious benefits to being able to rush for, but kind of spell out how's that help you call plays? How's it help the defense in general?
Coverage, and so Coach Rule had the plan. Right, to let's improve this. And I'm going to highlight this, as much as I can, is Coach Butler coming over here and having the experience and the knowledge. Again, you see from this game his hands on the coverage aspect. You see his plan out there and mixing it in with T. Knight and what he's able to do and get done. Like, the first couple sacks came from a front T. Knight saw and wanted to put in, and so we did it, practice repped it, and it got a couple sacks from it. Some of the coverages that made him hold the ball. Coach Butler went there, saw that. Hey, I like this. Let's clean this up. Let's do it like this, and we put it together. Rob, making sure. I know Coach explained this with Bullock and stuff, but the little nuances where he wanted to throw the ball to the two, John took away the two, and then the two started rolling back inside. And John had the awareness to roll back inside with them, made Shadur go to the one, and Tommy had sat on the route just with the wide receiver, and then he ate it up. All three levels. The coaches working together. The aux staff working together. The plan coming to play. That was just great to be a part of. And so you talk about again starting that plan up again, right? New opponent, new scheme. New things we got to do better. So, new week.
How excited are guys this for a different challenge this week? The last 2 weeks, people have tried to spread it out, throw it around. This week, someone's going to try to run it at you with a 230-pound running back.
This is a good preview to Big Ten ball, right? They're going to line up. They got 12 personnel, big backs. Can play action you if you put too many dudes in the box. So, never looking down the road, but it's going to give you a sense of, okay, you saw the pass rush, you saw some coverage stuff, and now you get a chance to line up and set your pads against an opponent that wants to try to impose their will on you. And so again, that's why I'm excited about this challenge. I want to see guys play with hat and hands. We go against the offense every day in 9-on-7 and just work fundamental football. And so this is one of those games that is gonna show up.
As a follow-up to that, how much can you translate from how the run defense played the last 2 weeks with those kind of different styles of play that you saw and what you might see?
Totally different. Totally different game right here. They're in the box. Again, they got big bodies in there. Again, the back, the one back is both backs are almost bigger than our linebackers. You got a 235, 240-pound guy and then another 6'4", 240-pound guy. He kind of reminds you of the back from Illinois. So completely different, more downhill, more like right at you. Some gap scheme stuff. So it's going to be exciting. It's going to be a physical game, and so Tuesdays kind of build you up for those kind of games.
Hey Tony, when you look at Ja'Cory Barney, you've gone against him in practice, those east-west quick hitting things.
Yeah.
When you give him those plays and put the ball in an athlete like Ja'Cory's hands, how does that stress the defense?
Man, he's electric. The guys first of all, we had a great look from the scout team guys last week. Roman Mangini, Kenneth Williams, those guys, and then going against our offense. You know, Ja'Cory, he's a difference maker. You know, he is twitchy. He's fast. You know, but there's a thing with having that talent and then getting the ball in your hand and wanting to do something. Like, he makes guys miss. You know what I mean? He's a guy you throw the ball out there to, and he can take it to the house. And so going up against that consistently, you know, helps all those DBs, man. Like, one-on-ones, everything we do against that guy, like, you have to account for him. And then lo and behold, we're seeing the same things against the offenses that we're seeing on Saturday night. So blessing in disguise to have guys like that in the wide receiver room helping us get better.
What kind of a level is Ty Robinson playing at?
Really, I mean, the last 2 weeks, extremely high. I mean, you talk about a guy who's sacks, tackles for loss, block kicks, although there's some discrepancy in there amongst the D-line group about who really blocked the kick. You know what I mean? Like those guys are kind of sensitive in there, so I don't know. But he says he blocked the kick. But, I mean, it's just extremely high. A lot of those guys in there. I mean, you know, Ty just, it's fun to watch him just because he made a decision to come back, right? He didn't have to. He made a decision to come back to help himself, but also be around the team, continue the process that's around here, and, you know, be around the culture, and you see it taking place, and you see the excitement in him, you see the joy in him. I'm not talking about just making a play. You see the true joy in him being around here every day, practicing. He had another great practice today. You know, him and Nash and Jamari and those guys joking around together. You know what I mean? Like, that's truly having joy in your heart. And so the first 2 weeks, he put himself in position to make plays along with all those guys, and it's worked out. And now, again, it's going back to zero and just building up, putting work in every day to get him to that point again for this Saturday.
Just kind of attached to Mackay, if he has to sit out, how have you seen Stephon and Vincent Shavers come along? Yeah,
I mean, you know, they're going back and forth. They're both now, you know, playing special teams. They're both battling it out right now. That's why when you ask, I don't know. I truly don't know who it is. I mean, Steph is a veteran guy who's been there and done that, you know, so now he just needs to put it on the grass and perform. And then Shavers, he's just an electric freshman, you know, and the more he does and the more snaps he has under his belt, the slower the game is going to get. And then, I mean, it's going to be something when the game slows down for him, because he's an electric player, big time playmaker. So it's good to have the competition between those guys and see what happens. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Tony.